Hello, thank you for joining me today here at Handmade XOXO. I'm glad to have you. Hope my videos are helpful for you. Today what we're going to be doing, I have a Brother PR1000e 10 needle brother and embroidery machine. And today I'm going to be talking about color changes on an embroidery design. And I had a really good lesson where I went and had my machine, and then I brought it home, and it was kind of late in the evening. I set it up and I thought I'll get up the next morning, I'll be refreshed, and I'm going to get to stitching. So I had a job that I had to get done, and I came in here and I was bound and determined not to use my one needle machine. And I thought, I'm going to do this. And even though my lesson was really good, we just covered so much information, we didn't really go like step by step color changes kind of thing. So that's the problem. When I walked in the room, yes, I was refreshed and I was ready to go, and then all of a sudden it was like, how do I change my colors? So I had to call and I had to get instructions on that, and hopefully this will just kind of help you. If you've bought your machine used from someone and maybe they haven't shown you these little tricks or whatever, this will be helpful. But if you're a seasoned embroiderer, my videos will be very boring for you, so you probably won't want to watch them. But anyway, glad to have you, and let's get started. I'm just gonna move my computer over here to the machine. I've got a design up already. It's My First Christmas, and on this particular design, I'm wanting to stitch it out light pink, green, and red. So I'm already going to assume you've got your item that you're going to be stitching on, whether it be a shirt or a bib or a pillow, whatever you're going to stitch this on. You've already got it centered up. It's on your hoop or your frame, fast frame, and you're ready to start sewing. Okay, so today's about color changes, and that is all. And you're going to hit the sewing button. Okay, so now we're in the sewing button. It shows us that this particular design is going to take about 25 minutes, stitching at 500 SPM. And we have 13 different color changes on this. We have about 10,000 stitches. And right now we're on stitch number 1. It has a 0 up here, but on number 1, I'm wanting this is going to be on My First Christmas. This is an ornament that I want to be bright pink on this ornament. And if I left it on number 1, it would actually stitch it in red, which I would not be happy about that. That's not the color I want that to be. So on this first stitch, what I want to do is I want to hit the spool and the fairy wand. And since my bright pink is on number 4, I'm going to actually choose number 4. And as you can see, the machine actually moves over. It's got the little fairy wand up by that, stitch number 1, and we know that now we're going to stitch on number 4. And then we're going to hit the close button. The next button you want to hit to get it up to stitch number 2 is you want to hit, besides the spool with the fairy wand, there is a button that shows a needle with a minus and a plus, and you're going to tap that button with your stylus. And then over here on my left, you want to tap the button that has the thread spool with the plus sign. That's moved it to stitch out number 2. And on this particular one, there are some dots on here that I'm going to intermingle green, pink, and red. And on this one, I want it to be light pink. Well, my light pink is actually on number 3. So if I stitched it out, if I left it on what it says, number 2, if I left it on that, it would actually be stitching that on this navy blue, which would not be good. So we want to close it out. You want to go to the thread spool with the fairy wand, and we want to tap on number 3. And there we have it. So just changed that to number 3. So now we know that dot will stitch pink like I need it. Close out. Now we want to go to stitch number 3. Hit the needle, plus and minus, thread spool with the plus sign. Now we're at stitch 3. Stitch 3 says red. My red is not 3 though, it's pink. So if I left it on that, it would stitch my pink color. So I want to close, and I want to hit the thread spool with it, fairy wand. I want to stitch that in red. My red is actually on white, on 1. So I want to tap the 1, and it's moved. You got the fairy wand up there, you want to close. Now we want to go to number 4. Needle, plus and minus, spool with the plus sign. We're on stitch 4, we want to close. As you can see, hopefully, I don't know if, I'm sure you probably can't read this, but according to this, if I leave my number 4 stitch out, On color 4, it's going to be bright pink. I don't want that to be bright pink. I want my letters to be light pink. So I'm going to do the spool with the fairy wand, and we're going to do number 3 because my light pink is on number 3. See, it moved it over. Now close. Let's do a couple more together. You want to go needle, plus and minus, thread spool with the plus sign. Now we've moved to stitch out 5. This particular stitch out on number 5 is actually going to be the ornament top. It's like the little metal with the little metal piece on an ornament. And I want that to be light pink. If I left that like what it says right now, my number 5 needle actually has a peach color. I don't want peach on this design. That would not look very pretty at all, being that it's Christmas and all. So what I would have to do, you want to take that, you want to do thread, fairy wand. We want that color to be light pink, so we're going to tap the number 3, and we're going to close. Alright, I hope you're following me. We're going to do a couple more, and then I think you'll get it. Needle, plus and minus, thread plus, and we've moved to stitch 6. My stitch 6 is going to be another dot, and we want that to be red. But according to my screen on here, if I leave stitch out 6 on 6, my needle on number 6 is actually a like a cobalt blue. Wouldn't that look kind of odd to have that on here? On this particular one, I mean, I'm not saying that. I think blue would be pretty, but on this particular one, we want pink, green, and red. So I need to go to thread spool and fairy wand. Good job. You guys are learning, see? And what we want to do, we'll make it red. My red is actually on number 1. There you go. Alright, so repeat after me. Needle, plus and minus, spool thread with the plus. Now we've moved on to stitch 7. Close. We want stitch 7 to be green. But if I leave it on number 7, I don't have green up here, but we're going to pretend. If I left it on number 7, it would actually stitch out like a medium pink. We don't want that. We need this dot to be green. So we're going to hit the fairy wand button. It's the little spool. And we're going to just pretend like green is on 2. So the best thing for you to do is actually get your colors on your machine before you do all your stitch out, so you can just go through them and get them out. That's what you need to do. Hit the close button. Ready? We'll do one more. Needle, plus and minus, thread spool, plus sign. We want these letters to be red. Now I'm going to close. If I leave it on what my machine says right now, it's on stitch out 8, which is brown. And I don't want any brown in this design at all. So I need to go to thread spool with my fairy wand. And we want to change this to red. So we're going to go to number 1. And it changed it to 1. Is that not the neatest thing ever? And then you just close out. And again, you just repeat those steps for all the colors that you need to change. You'll just repeat those steps. If you'll just remember, get your colors together that you're going to be stitching for a particular design, get them up on your machine, get them up on your thread holder, then changing your colors will be very simple. And if you get a piece of paper, write those steps down. Have any questions, leave them for me. I get your messages here. Or you can also reach me on Facebook. I have a Facebook business page, www.facebook.com/handmadexoxo FB for Facebook. I also have started up a Facebook group that's open to the public. You are welcome to join us. The more the merrier. Never can have too many friends. I'd love to have you guys come over and visit with us. And it's just going to be a good place to see where new designs are going to come out, and you know, share some of your things that you may be stitching out. I'd love to see them. But have any questions, I'd be glad to try to help you out the best I can. Happy stitching.